Welcome to the #1 friendship podcast in the country. I'm Aaron Karo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
Make sure to go to manoftheyearpodcast.com to grab our We Should Be Friends merch and check out our clips on YouTube. Matt, I have a rant, and this rant is about the out of control headphone culture in this country. I mean, leave aside the fact that people can't go anywhere without their stupid earbuds. They need to have music or phone calls or podcasts pumped into their brains at all time, even out in the street. I was at the farmer's market the other day, and this woman had the Beat headphones. So not the little plugs, like the giant headphones. And she was talking to like a farmer about, I'm like, it's so rude. Like, interact with another human being. You don't need to be wearing gigantic noise canceling headphones at a farmer's market. And then you have the other side of the society who are in the airport just watching a video on their phone. No headphones. Like, have you ever lived in the world? Like, I don't want to see your telenovela. Like, I don't understand. People either have too much headphones or not enough headphones. And can't we have something in between?
I have so many thoughts based on personal experience being the culprit and the victim.
You really do run the gamut.
Yeah, my theory is like it goes back to our public school upbringing. Like, people are like, "Oh, I hope my kid doesn't get bullied." I'm like, if you go to public school, your kid will be a bully and have been bullied at some point in their life. Victim and predator and prey. Same thing with the headphones. So I lose my headphones a lot. So Jesse's ready to divorce me when at night before bed I can't find my headphones and I'm listening to a Knicks podcast on speaker.
Now, you are horrible. You are disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, you should get a vasectomy. Like, first of all, just keep wired headphones in your nightstand.
That's actually a good idea. I do have a backup set of wired headphones. I think you just hacked our marriage. I think you just saved our marriage.
You sitting in bed with your lovely, lovely wife while she's reading a book and you listen to a Knicks podcast on full volume is just like, it's a horror movie.
I'd try to keep it on low volume.
Look, I guarantee you it's not low enough.
I put it on the lowest that I can hear it, comfortably, like, so I don't have to hear him whisper, you know? But then I've been victimized recently. I was at my kid's school and they have a kind of like a work area that I told you about. Some people just kind of will stay for a couple hours and do some work, just get out of the house. Mm-hmm. It's like a coffee shop essentially. And a woman took a call, a Zoom call. And I get it. If you need to speak, even that's a little like pushing it. But the people on the Zoom were speaking to her on speaker through the computer to everybody in that room.
How big?
I started texting with them. It's 8-person table. It's tiny.
It's not a room. It's a table.
It's a table. It's a table room. And so I started texting with one of the other moms. I was like, should I play my Knicks podcast right now?
Your superpower, if you were like a would be a Knicks podcast. Like, if you see someone,
I just play it and then everybody leaves the room. Amazing.
But so the people who don't have the headphones, that's just like self-awareness. You know, that's my peccadillo. I hate when people don't have that. And the people walking around with Beats headphones on, like, live in the now, bro. Like,
I agree. I believe that if somebody approaches you, you're a friend you haven't seen, or you're catching up with someone, take them out. Take them out.
Oh yeah, that's a given. I mean, if that's insane.
Well, that's what you're saying. You're saying they don't take them out when they're talking to people.
Well, I believe
headphones on to talk to the guy. That's rude.
Right. But I think it's almost more rude to speak to a service employee, a cashier, or somebody. Like, it's just disgusting.
Yeah. Take them out. Take them out. Make eye contact.
I don't even, if a call comes in, I'm in the grocery store and I have to take it and I'm checking out, I feel horrible. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I say, hold on. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Elevator people who do it is the worst. Taking calls in an elevator, you know, the people keep their calls going in the elevator.
But like,
instead of going, hey, I'm going to have to call you back, I'm getting in an elevator, like, hey, I don't have to call you back. I'm just going to annoy everybody in the elevator. I'm good.
What about people who just do their shopping and just are having a phone call the entire time? at the
Well, I
grocery store.
sometimes will do that for grocery shopping. I sometimes will do that because that's a good time for me to hack. Why? What's wrong with that? I'm not bothering anybody.
I don't know. For some reason, it bothers me.
Yeah, that feels okay.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you
Yeah,
that one. Just
yeah, that's a good time for me to call a family member.
right. Also, I can't do two things at once. If I'm talking to you on the phone, I can't pick out a
Oh,
mango.
you can't get a ripe mango. This guy's coming home with moldy mangoes. He's like, "What happened? Oh, it's on a phone call."
I mean, the things I do, I can, the only stuff I can do like stack habits is drive or like,
All right,
I don't know, clean up.
as a one at a time, one
I'm
item at a
yeah.
time.
I'm a unitasker. But speaking, this is not a great transition, but speaking of commerce, one thing that I think one of the things that you send me the most, Matt. So Matt sends me messages on LinkedIn,
Oh yeah,
and
big time.
it's just a one-way stream of nonsense.
Listen, we're friendfluencers. We need to know what's going on.
Friendfluencers. Have we?
Just, I know. I wanted to test it out on you.
Friendfluencers.
Does he like it?
Friendfluencers. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Let it marinate. Let it.
um,
I've been waiting to hit you with that for a couple weeks now. I said it at a
friendfluencers.
party last weekend. They loved it. They ate it up.
It's funny whenever you and I are out in the field and we're just talking to people, maybe like who don't know. I was telling someone about the podcast last night who never heard of it. They like go bananas.
I mean, we are a big deal. We forget that sometimes.
Yeah. But you're always sending me these apps and these like companies and buildings and services and locations, and it's been called the loneliness economy. There's this whole cottage industry cropping up of for-profit and I guess maybe nonprofit organizations trying to solve this crisis. I thought we should talk about some of these companies.
Aren't we basically the Steve Jobs and Bill Gates of the loneliness economy?
We are. Say that again.
We're the visionaries of the loneliness economy.
Yes. Of course, we didn't get in. We didn't get into it to capitalize, but we will.
Oh, we must.
So talk to me about these belong centers. Was actually you told me about them.
Yeah. So, this is only like I think they launched last year. So these belong centers are basically they claim to be research backed, and they have these kind of multifaceted approaches to address loneliness across the country. So they're building these belonging centers, which is like a place where people go that I guess are lonely, but they've developed these belong circles, which are their program, and they have these belong core, which is like the Peace Corps, but to combat loneliness, like the volunteers, and they have this sort of data center. So they've put this all together to basically have it be like a community center. I mean, I don't really know how you would distinguish it from a community center. It's really just a community center on steroids, but I mean, some of it is funny. Like they have a belonging bench where like the shape of the bench is like a curved bench. I mean, all it is a curved bench. It's like, yeah, it's a belonging table, a table that, has room for people to sit next to each other.
You showed me this bench yesterday. I actually think it's kind of brilliant. I actually haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So just for our listeners, I mean, it's curved in a way that essentially if you sit anywhere on it, you're facing somebody, and it basically forces you to have a conversation with a stranger. It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah. So it is kind of forcing engagement. But the idea is like to empower people to, feel less lonely, and they're catering to them. And I'm not sure what the price points are. I have to, are they free? I had that part I didn't look into.
Well, the benches?
No, just there's tickets for everything. Let's see.
Oh, got it.
Select tickets. Let's see how much for this event. Let's see how much. Free. Wow. Free.
Oh,
okay.
Great. So maybe it's not even the loneliest economy. It's the loneliest
Yes, they're doing a lot of in-person gatherings. That's basically it's a 501(c) nonprofit.
Oh, great. By the way, I don't know. Do we ever discuss that the UK has a minister of loneliness?
That's awesome.
And it's very interesting because, again, I think people think that this is frivolous stuff. The amount of money being spent on by the government on lonely people, because lonely people are sicker, they
Yeah.
take their own lives, you know. So they just determined that this would be a way that we could, you know, it's called loneliness reduction strategies. So it's pretty interesting.
Do you think a lot of people think it's frivolous?
Well, our entire thing is based on the fact that people don't, you know, value friendships as well
Right.
as other relationships.
Frank, do you think that's changed at all? So, I don't know. It feels like we're on a. The point is, we're now in a moment, right? Like when we started this pod 2.5 years ago, people were like, "Wait, you're doing a podcast on friendship? Why?
Right.
What does that
Right. I
even?"
think
They were like, "What does that even mean?"
I think that it's certainly, I'll put it this way, Matt. Let me tell me if you agree with this. 3 years ago when we started this and we would say epidemic of loneliness, people would look at us with blank faces. Now, when I say that, they go, "Oh, yeah, 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 yeah." Like they know it. They're aware of it.
I think they're aware, but it's not yet. It's not yet broken through. Still,
We have work to do.
we have
We
work
have
to do.
work to do.
Yeah. What are the,
So
there's a lot of other stuff, right? What are the other stuff that's going on in the loneliness economy? I want to just like
so
inventory people.
so you've got residential buildings, almost like the belong benches of buildings. So they're like an apartment complex that's built around uh socializing. So a lot of common areas, a lot of shared kitchens and stuff like that. There's of course many apps. You're sending me an app every other day,
Yeah.
which is about both helping you make new friends, helping you get closer with your existing friends, and also finding events, finding things that people are doing. Um, there's also, you know, neighborhood. You know, you always like to get local. So there's like, you know, things to better interact with people near you. It's almost like a social network for your neighborhood, which is interesting.
I like that. By the way, hot news for you. Hot news. Hot off the presses. At 11:50 p.m., I was up. Well, I haven't been having trouble sleeping lately, and I'm not usually up at that hour, so I do impulsive things. And I saw that they were there's a neighborhood council.
Oh no.
Threw my hat in the ring.
I have 1,000 questions. One, did you not know there's a neighborhood council?
No, I did, but I saw that the deadline was midnight.
Wow. And is it an election?
Yeah.
Eh, I mean, you know what? I like this for you. I don't love the time commitment, but as you know, you want to be a pillar of the community.
Yeah.
Um,
As I understand
and
it, it's a couple hours a month, like 4 or 5 hours a month.
you know, that's not nothing, but that's not
Nothing,
crazy.
nothing, but yeah.
Yeah. What is the municipality?
So it's Greater Wilshire region. So it's like Mid Wilshire, Hancock Park, and there's different zones. My zone is, I mean, most of the zones are like a 4 by 4 block radius. So it's like,
Really?
yeah, yeah, you're like really your block, your neighbor's block, like they're broken up into these like, 4 by 4 block sets.
I feel like, do you
I
know
feel
who
like,
you're running against?
I feel like an alderman.
I love this for you.
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, you do tend to abuse power when you have it, but um, do you know who you're running against?
No idea.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. This is great. Like,
Yeah.
besides your thirst for power and your need for better speed bumps, like this is about getting to know people in your
Yeah.
community.
I put it in my mission statement. I said I host a podcast on friendship, and I believe in local, and I want us all first and foremost to know each other.
God, I can only imagine the typos that this statement was rife with.
At
That you didn't send.
11:58, I got it in right under the gun.
That's great. And when will our listeners find out if
Yeah,
you were
we'll
elected?
find out soon. I think it's the elections next month, so I'll keep you guys posted.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, so maybe you could what's it called? Like you could partner with one of these neighborhood social networks and like implement it.
Yes.
I mean, to me, there's always what's the word? Negative externalities. Like connecting everybody in your neighborhood on a social network, it probably will lead to also shit show.
There could be some downside. It's like
Like,
Citizen, like
yes.
people getting there's like fights on Citizen and all that stuff.
Are you big into those apps?
No, every time I download them, I have to de-download them the next morning.
Yeah, de-download. Is Citizen? What's the other one?
De-download, delete. I forget.
Yeah, neighborhood something. Yeah.
I don't want to know
so,
the red dots. I don't want to know that I'm surrounded by red dots.
Right. And so, do you think there's anything wrong with a for-profit company dealing with this?
No, not at all. Look, if you're providing some sort of good, why should you not, be profiting off of it? I mean, why should dating apps, I mean, it's the same thing, right?
That's fair. It's a fair point. I mean, the profit motive is motivational, I guess.
Yeah. But do we think any of this stuff is working?
I mean, I've never heard of any of these companies. I mean, I don't know, but is it working? I mean, does it matter? I mean, we're trying.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, do we think that's how we're going to break through these apps, through these belonging centers? Like, also, by the way, hey, here's another one, guys. Message us. Our advice, it's free right now. Right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that, I said right now.
Yeah, Matt, if you want like a real thoughtful one, who's directed to Matt. If you want just to double tap at a heart, directed to me.
Heart, what do you want a clappy emoji there? I love listening. Karo is very thoughtful with our listeners. We do get a lot of advice questions coming in directly through the messages, not just the ones that we talk about on the pod. So, but we're happy to help anytime.
Before we get to listener question, I just want to run through just a list, a couple of things. So there's elder care. There's a couple of companies that trying to, obviously that's a very vulnerable population for loneliness. There's something called family tech, which is it's focused a lot on new moms. As you know, it can be very isolating. Yeah. There's third places we've talked about. There's sort of bars and restaurants now that are specifically for people getting together. I think there's a place in Atlanta actually called The Third Place. There are obviously a bunch of friendship apps that are kind of like Tinder, but for friends. And then there's also things about couples. There's ways to share stuff with your partner. And then there's AI girl.
We have to go to the Atlanta one. We got to go to the third.
I was in Atlanta. I'm going to make a note next time I'm there.
Why didn't you go?
I honestly didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about it. I'm sorry, Third Place Atlanta. Matt, should we take a listener question?
Yeah, this is a good one.
All right. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, this is Asking for a Friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram. Our handle is @ManOfTheYearPodcast. We will answer on the show. Matthew, take it away.
So this whole episode came from this listener question. Matt and Karo, I've been hearing a lot about the belonging centers and these friendship apps, but it feels weird to me to walk into a place specifically for strangers to meet. It feels like walking into AA and admitting I'm an alcoholic, when in reality, I just feel like I'm missing a little bit of my friendship needs. Interesting.
Well, I mean, the whole point of these places is to just be able to walk in like that. So, but I understand that. So the global question is like admitting you have a problem.
Right. That's the main thing that they're saying is like, I don't want to admit that I don't want to accept that I have a problem. Right. Like, I don't want to admit it. Right. And to me, that's like, hey, you're looking at it like it's a moral failing. Like you're defining it in the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
Like your whole definition of AA is wrong too, right? If you're saying that, right? Like, people don't walk into AA, feeling like they've accepted their some sort of stigma. They're saying, I want to get help, right? I think it's eliminating the stigma. When you walk in there, you're saying, I know this place will not stigmatize me, right? It's like you don't want to make it harder to admit you need a connection, right? Like we're basically saying you can come in here, you don't have to say anything, right? It just you walking in here, you don't have to like say, hey, like when you go to a gym, you don't have to say, hey, I want to get stronger. They know that, right?
Mm-hmm. So also these things are optimized for exactly that kind of awkwardness. And I think actually some of the stuff that they do, they could use in the events that we go to. There's going to be someone there right when you walk in who's checking you in, getting you the name tag if that's what they do. It's not like you just wander into a room like going to a party where you don't know anybody. They actually have facilitators that make introductions, and everybody there is going through the same thing. So definitely a very I understand the question. But like if you just need, even if you just need a little nourishment, like you have friends, but you haven't seen them, they're out of town, or it's been a minute. I think this is good.
Here's what I think. I think they're viewing this as the last stop, right? And I think like, okay, fine. So you're saying this feels like an overcorrection, right? That's what they're saying. They're saying, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I'm not walking into an effing belonging center, man. I have friends, right? Like
Yeah.
that's essentially like what the vibe from that question is. Okay, fine. By the way, you know what else is a belonging center? A kickball league, a run club, any of the million things that we talked about. Those are all belonging centers. They're just under a different name because they don't, they understand that people have a bit of a sort of hurdle going, hey, I have no friends. I admit it. I need help, right? So we have a million other things that you can do if you don't feel comfortable walking into a quote unquote place that is overtly saying, here is the place. You could go to a knitting club, man. You can go to a hiking group. Like you could just go to a WeWork, which I did because I needed a belonging center at the time. I admit it.
Just
I admit it. I did it because I wanted to be more social. I wanted to make friends when I joined WeWork.
just so we don't send people to the wrong place. It's a belong center, not belonging center. So one thing,
there's always some scam company that like has a, immediately.
So I wanted to ask you about this. So two of the board members are the founders of Daybreaker. Have you ever heard of Daybreaker?
Is that like a coffee club party thing?
It's a morning non-alcoholic rave.
Right. I've seen Instagrams all over it for that.
People fucking love it.
I love coffee, but I like it quiet.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it has anything to do with coffee. I think it's not coffee related.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically it's like a dance party that, starts at 8 a.m. You go before work and you go dancing and, you let us.
When I was in my 20s, I was all about those like daytime, there were a few of those.
No, you weren't, because you're talking about going to boozy brunch.
No, I'm talking about the ones that turned into a club, though.
Right, but I can't stress enough that this is not that. This is like a holistic. You're not partying. This is like this is on a Tuesday.
Oh, I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah, Matt, I feel like your brain just broke in the past. Like you were doing so well all day, and then your brain just broke.
No, wait, no, but this isn't a daytime club kind of thing? Like
No, it's like an all ages, like, daytime, like I don't think there's alcohol. I don't think there's alcohol.
No drugs.
You're thinking, Matthew, you're thinking of day drinking. This is something different.
Yeah, I love day drinking.
Which, by the way, as you know, day drinking is my favorite activity. I once told a girl on a dating app my hobbies are working out and day drinking, and she unmatched me.
By the way, I've been sober all 2025 so far.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That's. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, how do you feel?
Feel great.
Not amazing. A sip of alcohol.
Not a sip.
And when are you going to end it?
Europe.
Got it. So you're gonna go 6 months, 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. So you're telling me you're not gonna have a drink with me on my birthday?
I hadn't made a definitive line in the sand, but if you're gonna put a gun to my head, I might, but I gotta figure it out.
Just,
We gotta
just for our
talk about it.
listeners, Matt's face, just like his realization of the events coming up over the next 6 months, which he can't have a
Oh,
drink. He just face
I
so
know.
sad.
Oh,
Listen, we don't want you to, at least when you're running for neighborhood council, you'd be like, I haven't had a drink. I'm not going to drink on the
yes,
job. You know, my
that's
past,
right.
I've learned from my past.
That's right.
I'm a new
That's
man.
that's right.
Um,
Wait,
do
should we
we
get
answer?
back to the listener? I think the
Yes.
point is yes, obviously it feels weird because you're explicitly acknowledging something that we try not to explicitly acknowledge. But Karo and I are at the forefront of explicitly normalizing loneliness and normalizing that social health is as important, right? We go to the gym for our physical health. We go to a therapist or Calm app for our mental health. So maybe for you, a belong center isn't the place, but maybe it's a listening to this pod. Maybe it's doing a weekend run club, but it's an option and it's there. It's available to people. And the point is just to make it, this is not weird. You don't need to feel embarrassed. We're over that.
Matt, you know what you're really good at? You have articulated in the past that you're feeling lonely.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with it. And again, you're a married man of one, soon to be two. But you said, "Yeah, I was lonely. This afternoon. It felt pretty lonely." I mean, I think it takes a lot of courage to say that.
Well, thank you. And I think it takes courage for our listener to admit that they're lonely, but at the same time, they're wrestling with these old feelings of nobody's judging you, man. Nobody cares, to be honest. Nobody
Yeah,
cares. Nobody's thinking about
yeah,
you. That's why you need the Belong Center.
yeah. That's right. Spotlight bias. Everyone thinks the spotlight's on them, but nobody cares.
No.
By the way, Matt. Also, what's the alternative? Just be lonely. Congratulations. Now, what have you accomplished?
We haven't hit that in a while, Carol. That's dead right. What's the alternative? Keep doing what you're doing, man. Sounds like it's really working.
Yeah, yeah. We've also talked about a couple hacks. Saying if let's say you have friends in another city, saying I'm in a funk, if you need some
Yeah.
help from them, or asking people if they know anyone in your town. You just move somewhere. You move to Cleveland. You ask your friends, "Hey, know anyone?" Like they'll be happy to introduce you, but you have to show up on time for the meeting.
Can't be 16-minute late for a new person
Can't
meeting.
can't be 60-minute late. So I think we answered that question, and actually, I'd like to hear. Hopefully, he does go to the Belong Center or someplace else. I mean, to your point, I mean, walking into an Equinox is daunting. Walking into a coffee shop.
Totally, all of it. You're alone at any of
Yeah,
these places.
yeah. All right, guys. I was asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question, send it to us on Instagram, and we will answer it on the show. So, Matt, what did we learn today about the loneliness economy?
Well, I think we learned we got to up our game here. We got to get our own piece of this pie.
Oh yeah.
We got to wet our beaks in the loneliness economy.
Yeah. Well, we are going to at some point create an app. The two of us running another company.
Mm-hmm.
We need
entity.
another what?
We need another entity. We need another
Right.
business.
We need it. What we need is adult supervision. We need someone who knows what the F they're doing.
That's right. That's right.
If you would like to be the CEO of me and Matt's company, please reach out.
Send a res.
Yeah, send a resi.
We might get some hits.
We should do that thing, in like
post on LinkedIn.
Job posts. Well, when people like post on and there's 1,000 requirements, like you need 20 years of French, like stuff that nobody has.
You need 0 years of experience for this.
Right. You don't need to have any experience. You just know it. Can you manage two best friends who have strong personalities, whose personalities also conflict with each other and probably won't listen to you? If so, you're our man or woman.
And we're gonna gang up on you.
That's probably the person who can play. It's all relationship game.
Sometimes I'm going to say to the CEO, sometimes I'm going to need you to gang up on Karo with me.
Right.
Sometimes Karo's going to need to gang up on me. And sometimes me and Karo, most of the time, me and Karo are going to gang up on you. Can you handle that?
Oh man. Good luck. And guys, we'd like to hear if you have had any interaction with any of these apps or these companies or these belong centers, or if you've seen one of these benches. I'm obsessed with these benches. We should buy one. Dude, when you get elected to the neighborhood council, you're doing a bench.
Implementing a bench, yeah. But see, the thing is, Larchmont is like historical preservation stuff. Like, I don't think we could put a modern twisty bench. You know, it may not. May
What
blow
about
up
in a?
the-
Do you have any public parks?
Yeah. Oh, in the park. That's a great idea. It's
Yeah,
great.
you should. If there, by the way, if there's going to be a debate or a candidates night, please let me know because I will not be drinking.
Oh yeah, you will be asking questions from the back. I got I got a public comment section. First in line.
Oh man. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.